Hey everyone. I know this is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon for some of you, and it's New Year's Day, and we just been on Sunday. But Amanda and I just watched episode 1 of Netflix's new show, The Witcher, and we had some thoughts. And I didn't want to wait till Sunday to kind of share them with you guys because they're still fresh. And I don't know. We I don't know, because sometimes we'll talk about something like right after we watch it, and then like we try to articulate those same thoughts on Sunday, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. Yeah. So we watched the first episode of The Witcher. Please tell me it gets better.
Jeez. Okay. Um. So I. Okay. So the thing I wasn't expecting was the actual full hour length. That was a little. So for context, we've just come off like shows like The Mandalorian, in which the shows ranges anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. And the thing that I like about The Mandalorian is it ranges because it's not trying to confine to a specific amount of time. It's like, oh, we have to fit everything in a 20-minute time spot, or we have to fit everything in an hour time spot. And it kind of it feels very natural the way that the narrative goes for most episodes. But with this show, it caught me off guard was all. I think Henry Cavill really works for Geralt. I'm not a big Witcher fan. I own a copy of it. The game wasn't for me. But I do like the world that it exists in. I think it's like a cool medieval fantasy world, if you know. But I mean, there were some things that we noticed. One of the big things that pops right off is the fact that the narrative is split between two different characters, and
I don't like it.
It's I'm not. It's I argue that like almost like it was like we were spoiled. We were spoiled from The Mandalorian and having that a show where the narrative is exclusively one character, and having that kind of just be the focus, like the old Western or something like that along those lines. So going to a show where you have half the show be about Geralt and his current contract. And talking about like picking the lesser of two evils versus fantasy noblemen and kingdom, and like they keep using the phrase, "Oh, the world will end if we don't, if we don't do this. This could be the end of the world." And I hate
Of the world.
I always hated that kind of like,
The most evil thing. Man.
oh God, you called so many of those lines.
It's because they're tropey fantasy lines.
Ah, you'll be hunting the greatest thing of all, Witcher. Man.
The most dangerous game.
Oh.
It was just so bad. Just so not good.
I think I think it works for what it is.
Oh, no, it definitely works for what it is. And if it was just about Geralt and being a Witcher and doing Witcher shit, I would have been perfectly fine. But the fact that we spent fucking what? 15 minutes watching a princess play Knuckles and then watching her go to a knighting ceremony and then watching her going to a dance, and she has to dance with a boy that she doesn't like. Boo.
Yeah, that's the thing. I really just wish it was just Geralt, just looking from his perspective and seeing the kind of world he lives in. And I do wish that there was more of just like, like, it's like, oh, you're a Witcher. And it's really unfortunate the fact that I feel like The Mandalorian and The Witcher came out at the same time, because Geralt and The Mandalorian are very similar characters.
You
People
know what the
judge
difference is, though? You know what the difference is?
The Mandalorian isn't Superman.
All that. The Mandalorian explains its own fucking rules. The Mandalorian explains what a Mandalorian is. You know what The Witcher did? Nothing! It didn't say shit!
They did say like, oh, you are people augmented through mutation. He's essentially like a mutant, like a Superman mutant, designed to like hunt monsters and stuff. Like they did address it. It just wasn't as flat. It's kind of riddled, and I almost wonder if it's because of it's that hour long like time frame. And I know that like people who were like an hour isn't anything. What are you guys bitching about? Like, well, like I said, it's coming hot off the heels of The Mandalorian, in which the show is literally like anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. Having 20 minutes of extra padding, and more importantly, padding that I couldn't really get into, really didn't help the show.
No, it did not. Explain. Explain your world. Because not once, not twice, but at least 10 times they went, oh, Shivalt. That's it. You know what that is. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I do not.
So
you know how the people from Nigerfell are. No, I don't. No, I do not. Explain your world to me.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just a different kind of show. It's weird to say that they're so similar and that there are different kinds of shows, but they really are. Geralt and The Mandalorian are very similar characters, but they're plopped into two different kind of shows. Where The Mandalorian is about, like, and I hate to just keep talking about that, but like it is a direct comparison. It is something that came out literally a month before The Witcher came out, and it has such a similar like concept in terms of its character idea. But like it
set up your world, explain your rules. That's all I'm asking.
They did. I almost feel like it's because the show is half the show is muddled in the political intrigue of this one place. And I just call it political intrigue is almost like just like a slap in the face to like a show like Game of Thrones. But it's trying to
have a man bred for war and monster killing, literally bred for it. He goes out and he slays monsters, and the rest of the world believes he's a monster. And you're telling me you can't write an entire show based on that?
They are. That's what The Witcher is.
No, they gotta fucking add the political intrigue with the princess with the superpowers.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, the princess part didn't capture me. It's not something that I just wish they wouldn't keep saying the phrase like the world is the thing that is going to be at risk here or some shit. Like if they didn't do that part, then like I would be more okay with it. Like if it was just like Citra, the city that we're apparently in, like that it'll fall. And you must come back and reclaim it. It's a simple story. Just reclaim your kingdom, right? Like, you don't have to make it about the world. It doesn't have to be a world-ending event. Superman deals with world-ending events. Geralt can just deal with, like, that's another thing. Just ground your characters a little. Like I don't know. It just feels like what, like they came here for the princess. She's like the fucking allspark of the fantasy world. And Geralt is supposed to find the Allspark and with the Allspark save the day. Like it's setting up.
She will be your destiny.
Oh God, there is enough here that I like that I would be willing to watch like another episode. I don't know. I feel I know people who like binge the whole show in a day, and that's 8 hours. That's 8 whole hours, and I don't think I could do that. I think if I could watch like maybe like an episode a day.
Yeah.
And even then, the extra 20 minutes, because that's the thing, a lot of shows are normally padded for 44 minutes. Like, the fact that there's another 20 minutes of the show, like, it's just like, okay. And I know that sounds like such a weird complaint, but like, unless I'm engaged, it just drags. Like, and at the points in which like I don't know anything about this kingdom, I don't know like they could be presenting it from one perspective, and then maybe later in the show they'll be like, oh well, actually the Citra people, those guys are fucking evil. Those guys are fucking bad. Like because that seems to be the current theme of the show, is that Geralt is perceived to be this evil guy because he murdered all these people, and
So, yes, first off for the chat, yes, this is a surprise podcast. We just watched the first episode of The Witcher. Um, and we just decided to quickly do a quick Mitch's minute about it. And yeah, Gigit says, I feel like we will get more explanation of what Geralt is in the next season.
the next
So,
season,
what that confirms to me is that Witcher spends the whole first season not telling you what a Witcher is.
oh
And my
fuck,
life is full of suffering.
fuck. No, could you imagine if they? I hate bringing up the Mandalorian, but like, could you imagine if they spent the whole first like he's just a dude in armor and he just keeps telling you shit like that is the way and like doesn't.
Yeah, it says, "Oh, you haven't seen it all." My bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll still watch it. I think if anything, I might if the second episode turns out to be better, I might drag you along with me on this one.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, don't get me wrong, it's very nicely set up. I like it. There are just some parts that kind of drag ass, and that's anything to do with the princess, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, Geralt's an interesting character. He himself is like, obviously he's the star of the show. He's the Witcher.
As it turns out, I like the Witcher part of the Witcher.
Yeah, what is like half the Mandalorian is just about like it's just about like whoever the side character of the week is, and it just focuses on them for like an additional 20 minutes. Everything gets really drawn out. Yeah, no, it's not even Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda's with him with Mando half the time. Just fucking.
Yeah, a lot of like the Oz of Baby Yoda is just Mando being his fucking dad.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, I didn't want to like make this into a whole podcast, like an hour-long podcast episode. This wasn't meant to be like anything more than, hey, every now and then, sporadically, I might pop with one of these little mini minutes to kind of be like, hey, this is really fresh in our heads. Let's just spew this out and kind of like talk about it real quick.
Oh yeah. So Jack just said they do mention what the Witchers are throughout the episodes, but we never see their outright creation, which is fine. That's fine. I don't need to see their creation, but for someone, because this is a show based on a game that has a bunch of books and lore and stuff. If I'm someone coming in and I've never played the games or read any of this stuff, what the fuck is a Witcher? Why do they keep calling him a mutant? I don't fucking get it. I'm thinking about it like from the perspective of like someone who has like zero information. And I don't know. I mean, I have that connection because I do know some information. And don't get me wrong, I like Witcher. I just like the parts of Witcher more. So for me, I just wish they explained what the fuck a Witcher was a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I can see that. I also just I don't know. I'm looking forward to see how it kind of goes. Like I said, my biggest just gripes are just this whole world-ending fantasy plot. Like I like things more grounded in the sense of like oh, it'll just be the end of Citra or something. Like I don't want to talk in circles. Like that's not what I'm here for. It's just, to me, anything that's like it'll be the end of the world, like you have to kind of build up to that, you know? Like introduce our character, have him have a grounded couple missions, and then maybe be like, oh well, if we don't do this, then it might be the end of the world or some shit like this, or end of this area, or end of the nation of whatever. That's all.
Minor nitpick. Very minor nitpick about like the animation. Very minor, I promise. When the weapons pierce through solid armor, I had an issue with it.
Oh yeah.
So there's a couple of scenes in particular. One of the guys gets stabbed in the throat, but he specifically has a neck guard on his like suit of armor meant to prevent that. And they're like ignoring it. Ha!
That's how powerful those guys are.
That's how powerful they are. They're so strong they can just go through iron and steel. Our swords are our axes so good we can just cut straight through a helmet, and the helmet not even gonna bend or dent at first or anything. You know what it's gonna do? Crack like a fucking egg. I legit went, did that helmet just that's not a good helmet. That's an egg, sir.
Oh my god. Well, that's the thing. So like, I don't want to make this an entirely negative review. It's not supposed to be. I did actually enjoy, the parts with Geralt in it. Fucking great. I love those parts. And that's the thing. Something I've noticed in some of my media that I consume is sometimes I like media in the way that they're adapted. So like, I really like the Attack on Titan game, but I have a harder time watching the show. And I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. Maybe I'm stupid. There's a pretty good chance that I am in fact stupid. But I wouldn't say that. But like I wasn't a big fan of the Witcher game, and some part of me says maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. Maybe I'll give it another shot, like, you know, somewhere down the line. But like, if I could consume a piece of media that's just about him, like, and doing, like, I would love, Geralt seems like the kind of character I'd love to see do short story, little, like, monster hunting bits. You know, I would love to see just an adventure about him going to hunt, like, you know, like, oh, I'm going to go hunt, like, a griffin, or I'm going to go hunt, you know.
There's some really good reading material, actually.
Yeah, like, that's what I would like. I don't want to see, like, not for a TV show. I would like a good season of just him, and then every now and then, like, have, you know, it sounds like I'm describing the Mandalorian. It's like every now and then you get little, like, side bits of lore about him, but like for the most part it's just like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna meet up with these people, or, you know, and I'm hoping that that's what some of the show is gonna be, is like, because it seems like it's gonna take a second to get to the main plot, or to get to that little side bit. I would love it if in the second episode he's just hanging out with some dude, some just guy of the week that's a reference to the game or something like that. Every week we just had that, and then the season just builds up to them actually meeting, you know? Like, this first episode sets some stuff up, and then everything else is just getting to that point. And that would be a good first season. We'd get a really good established Geralt as a character. We know what he's like, we know what irritates him, we know what he loves. And then we could go into that next part of the story, you know. I mean, we'll see how it goes. You know, that format's very episodic, and that's something that I like in my shows, is just to have the Cowboy Bebop formula of having, like, an episodic thing while also having details of an ongoing plot going on. But like I said, I didn't want to talk about this too long. This isn't supposed to be a full podcast episode. So we'll end things here right now. And if you guys like the mini episodes, I mean, I've always thought about doing these, so maybe there will be, you know, maybe I'll pop like a couple of these every now and then, when not like forced, obviously, but just if I do feel like there's something I want to talk about fresh off the cusp, we'll do these, and I'll try to make I'll change like the tint of the thumbnail so it looks like a little different than the regular episodes. But yeah, so if you guys like this, I guess like it and stuff. Definitely do let me know if this is something that you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time.
Next time.